Hello and welcome. This is actually the first YouTube video that I'm recording on the Hatha with Jim YouTube channel. I've been doing Facebook Live Hatha sessions, and clearly video is not my thing. You're going to see me fumbling with the microphone cord and not being quite as natural as I might be in a yoga class. So, but where video is not my thing, yoga is my thing. And making yoga accessible to anybody, especially people that feel like they don't have flexibility or they're too stiff. I feel like there are modifications and adjustments for everything to have good alignment, regardless of your experience, limitations, or injuries. And I practice what I like to think of as next level yoga. And where next level yoga maybe sounds like, wow, that's really complicated. That's a really advanced class. And for me, nothing could be further from that. To me, next level yoga can be achieved in the most simple of poses, as long as you have good alignment, and that alignment supports the body supporting the pose. So you can do a really complex pose and have poor alignment, and that is not next level yoga. That's not what I like to think of as first level yoga. First level yoga being having that good alignment. So if you do something really complicated and you hold it for a few seconds, but your alignment is terrible because the wrong parts of your body are being exerted to stay in the pose, you do so much better with doing a simple pose and having good alignment. And that's mastering first level yoga. First level yoga is about the alignment. Next level yoga is what you do with that, which is basically breathe. Breathing into a pose and experiencing it in a way that you're not fighting the pose. You're just with the pose. I'll talk about things like the yin and the yang of it, and how virtually every pose has a confluence of energies that seem to move in different directions, and yet they work together as one. I'll be uploading videos every week on full practice, 50 to 60 minute practices. I'll be doing a chair yoga class once a week, which is wonderful. It's probably my most watched videos are the chair yoga classes. And I'll be doing what we're going to do today, which is a posture clinic. And to me, posture clinics are an opportunity to really learn how to do a pose, how to make adjustments and modifications to be successful in that pose. I talk to a lot of people in classes who say, sometimes even the beginning level classes or the gentle level classes, I'm never quite sure if I'm in the right place or not. And they go more quickly than I have a chance to really figure it out, and they don't often or at all get the feedback necessary to be in the pose in the right way, or to get an adjustment, or have a modification offered. So these are the things that the posture clinic can explore, and then the practices that week, the later practices, will try and incorporate whatever I might have worked on in the posture clinic, whatever we may have worked on in the posture clinic. So that's where we're at. It's May 4th, by the way, 2020. We're about seven or 8 weeks into various forms of shutdown in this pandemic, and but it's May 4th, and I couldn't let the day pass without at least acknowledging what happened 50 years ago when 4 students lost their lives at Kent State in a student protest, in a confrontation with the National Guard, which was sent in, which basically was made up of kids no older than the students who were protesting. And it was a tragic day in our history. All right, well, there you go. From Kent State, something very idealistic I would also mention, I'll mention this at the end, if you feel inspired to contribute, you can contribute through Venmo. So there we go, from the idealistic to the capitalistic. Venmo, my Venmo account, our family's Venmo account is Rebecca-Lipson-1. That would be the number 1. I'll mention it again at the end. All right, we're going to do warm-ups. And I'll tell you why the warm-up, you might be thinking. Well, there's a number of reasons warm-ups are important. We're going to start with the legs apart. One thing is, when you go into a yoga class, oftentimes the first thing you're going to do in class is sit and breathe. And you don't really have a time to kind of like get loose a little bit. So with the legs apart, coming down, so I always like to make sure that I can do at least a little bit of a warm-up routine before I sit and breathe. So here we are, the legs are stretched, and I'm getting a nice stretch in the legs and up into the groin area. Now to accentuate that stretch, I'm going to pull up on the knees, really engage the legs. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, fold, come down, keep the legs very engaged, let the head drop. You can see how loose my head is. Now, if you have issues with low blood pressure or vertigo, anytime we come down with the head dropping like this, you're going to keep the head up like that. And that's fine, because you know what that does? It helps to lengthen the spine here. Exhale, fold. I'm going to turn and come down onto my right knee into a lunge. And here I'm working the hips. I'm going to turn this hip in a little bit. And inhale, push back, straighten that leg. Exhale, come forward. I'm going to curl the back toe. Inhale, walk my hands around. With an exhale, come down. So in a warm-up, there's a few areas you want to make sure you're going to catch. One is the hips and the legs. Inhale, going to push back, get that nice stretch in the leg. Exhale, I'm going to come forward, and I'm going to turn and gently twist. Inhale back. I didn't do this on the other side, but it's okay. With the exhale, I'm going to bring my toes up. Accentuates that stretch there. With an exhale, I'm going to come forward, but not too far. Curl the back toes. Inhale, walk my hands around. Exhale, folding down. Hands to the hips, shoulders back. Inhale, rising up with that flat back. Exhale, arms to the side. Now I'm going to start to work the spine. I'm going to bring the feet in a little bit. A semi-wide stance. Inhale this left arm up. Exhale it over. I'm just going to let the weight of the upper torso kind of do its work here. Let the head even can relax. I am going to bring this left hip back. That's going to accentuate that stretch a little bit. And then with an in-breath, I'm going to lengthen up like this. Inhale, stretch the arm out. Exhale, lengthen and release. Inhaling up. Exhale over the other way. And just let the weight of the upper torso, this arm is kind of limp. I bring this hip back. Always in my nice full breath. And now I'm going to accentuate this a little bit. I'm going to inhale, lengthen up a little bit. Exhale, stretch. Again, this arm is kind of dangling down. This hip still comes back. Face is relaxed. And inhale, coming up. Exhale, the arms down. Now you might think, well, what's that have to do with the spine? Well, our ability to bend to the side in either direction is completely dependent on the spine bending in those ways. Bring the feet totally together. Another little variation on this is inhaling the arms up, interlock the fingers, and stretch the palms up. With an exhale, move from side to side. Again, getting a nice side stretch. And then what we're going to do is we're going to rotate on the hips. Out to the side and back. And exhaling over. Really, your feet are really engaged into the mat. And you're rotating on the hips. We're going to reverse that motion. This is getting the hips and the spine Nothing complicated about this. But instead of being like this, you want to be lengthened. And inhale, exhale the arms out. Shake them out. We're going to separate the feet a little more than hip width apart, but not really a wide stance, kind of a semi-wide stance. A slight bend in the knees. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, bring the forearms up. I don't know any teacher that's ever done this except my first teacher, Suzanne. And in these videos, I'm going to try and acknowledge my teachers, any time I can. I'm going to bring the hands behind the head. Now, she didn't do that. I figured that out because when we twist, you want the elbows to stay up. Knees are slightly bent. We're going to inhale, go one way. Exhale, go the other. And you can go as slow or as fast as you like. And if you use your eyes to look from one elbow to the other, you might find you can gently increase your range of motion. And you can go super slow, like a pendulum in each direction. Or you might be someone that wants to kind of get a little, This is already longer than I might normally do it, but I just wanted to show you the options. Let the arms drop down. As the arms go one way, the hips go the other. The other thing I like to do in that pose is close my eyes. And I always find that I can feel the stretch from the inside in a way I never could with my eyes open. And slowly coming to a stop. This particular stretch, arms one way, hips the other, I find gives a really nice massage to the lower spine. All right. Shake everything out. Drink a little water if you have some. Now, obviously, we're doing sort of an extended warm-up, and you may only have time. You want to get a little bit of a practice in. The warm-up can be your practice. All right. Back bends, forward bends. Now, I can tell you the back bend is, there's a lot of back bending in yoga. And it's never about how far back you go. Okay? It's never about how far back you can bend. What it is about is the lengthening of the spine via the separation of the vertebra. Sometimes you go into a chiropractor's office and you might see that model or picture like the bad spine and all the vertebrae are just stacked on top of each other, and then there's the good spine and there's space between each one going up and down the spinal column. So it took me about 38 years or so until I realized, even with the tucking of the tailbone, which is so key to a healthy back stretch, even with all the tailbone tucking I've done in my 41 years of practicing, my lower back was still telling me that it was getting tired, it was stressed. So here's the modification, and I teach this to everybody. In every class that I teach this modification of the lower back stretch. And the feet are together. And as you inhale the arms up, with the exhale, instead of coming back, with the exhale, bending of the knees and the tucking of the tailbone. Now I'm really accentuating it here. You can see how much tailbone tuck I get. So that lower back is really flat. Then with my next inhale, I not only straighten the knees and lengthen up, reach up through the fingertips, exhale, fold with the knees bent, the bending of the knees to protect the lower back. Inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, rising up. With the exhale, bend the knees, tailbone tucks, coming back. Inhale, lengthening up. This is the stretch. And with your exhale, folding, again, the bending of the knees, supporting and protecting the lower back. And straighten the legs. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the heart. So this is your basic warm-up. We've moved the spine in 6 directions. We've gone backwards, we've gone forwards, that's 2. We've gone from one side to the other side, 2 more, and we've twisted, 2 more. So that's 6 directions we've moved the spine. We've worked the hips in our lunge. We worked the legs with our wide stance. And, you know, after that, everything is gravy. You know, working on the shoulders a little bit. You can always do this, hands behind the back. Fingers are interlocked. Stretch the arms down, shoulders back. I could do this 20 times a day, and it would never get old. But the key here is the stretching of the arms down. Because then when you draw the shoulders back, that's what creates what I think of as the dynamic tension of the pose. Shoulders back. Now, when my shoulder was rehabbing, this would be plenty from when I had shoulder surgery a number of years ago. And even this might be a lot. But I'm going to ease my arms up only as much as I want them to go. And I'm going to still stretch them down and out. And I think I'm done. And you might think that you're done before I tell you to come out of a pose or before a teacher in a class tells you to come out. I'm telling you, you want to honor that intuition that you have that says it might be time to come out of a pose. So you don't have to hold a pose as long as the person next to you, okay? Or as long as the instructor is telling you. You want to listen to the teacher within. And the more you practice, the more of a relationship you and the inner master are going to develop. So you'll hear things when you're in a pose that tell you to do certain things, whether it's expand more, whether it's tailbone tuck more, whether it's breathe into something more, or whether it's to come out of a pose. All right. That was pretty much it for the warm-ups. Now what I want to show you is, you know, you can do this whole sequence in, you know, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. You might come into a class and you might only have a minute or 2 and you want to take advantage of that time. So I don't have a clock in front of me, but here it is. We start here. Exhale, fold. Inhale, push in, lift the heart. Exhale, turn, come down onto the left knee, coming into this lunge. Inhale, push back. Exhale, come forward. Curl the back toes. Inhale, walk around. Exhale down. Ease into the lunge. Make sure this hip is square. Inhale, push back. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, walk the hands around. Exhale, fold, hands to the hips, legs engaged, shoulders back. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release, feet in a little bit. Inhale, one arm up. Exhale, over. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Inhale, up. Exhale, over. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, extend and release. Inhale, up. Exhale, feet in a little bit. Inhale, up. Exhale, hands back. Inhale one way, exhale the other. And arms coming down. Anybody remember to close your eyes there? And coming to a stop in front of the mat. Hands together at the heart. Slight bend in the knees. Inhale, rise. Exhale, knees bend, tailbone tuck coming back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Straighten the legs. Inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Inhaling up. Exhale, tailbone tucks come back a little. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Fold the arms, let the head just drop. Or keep the head up if you need to. Inhale, slowly rise. So I'm going to guess that was 3 minutes and 20 seconds. I have no idea. But I'm thinking between 3 and 4 minutes that was. And, you know, I gave a couple extra breaths to a couple of things. But for me, that's a solid warm-up routine. And once I do that, then I'm ready to really get down to it, which is connecting with the breath. And that's where we're going to leave you today. So the next posture clinic will be Thursday, and I will upload it onto my Facebook Hatha with Jim page, and it will also be on the Hatha with Jim YouTube page, which hopefully I'll be able to do that as soon as we're done here. The next posture clinic is Thursday, and we're going to pick up where we left off, which is with the breath. We'll probably do the 2-minute warm-up to settle in, and just as a reminder of what we've done today, and then we'll move into some pranayama, and we'll talk about that and we'll experience that. And tomorrow I'll be uploading a video for chair yoga. The idea is to try and get the videos uploaded between 9 and 9:30 local Tucson time. If you are inspired to make a donation, through Venmo, that's where we're at, and you can find Rebecca-Lipson-1. That's Rebecca-Lipson-1 through Venmo. And it's been great being here with you. Bring the hands together at the heart if you are sitting. Just taking a moment to feel your gratitude and appreciation for everything good. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, bowing to yourself. And coming up. Thanks for joining me today. Namaste.